Okay, so I'm going to do like a quick little intro. Looks like we got lines. We should be good to go.
Bars.
Yeah. Welcome to another episode of Jiu-Jitsu by the Train Tracks. You missed us. You know you did. Today we've got a superb episode lined up for you. Let me go ahead and introduce my co-host.
Hey, how's it going?
Mr. James Williams in the house, and our very special guest today, Miss Dani Olafson. Did I say that right?
Olafson, yes. Hi, guys.
What's up?
What's going on, Danny?
Not too much. It's a good Sunday.
It is. It's the first nice Sunday of the year, seems like.
Yeah.
Perfect weather for tornadoes. So, hey, hopefully that doesn't happen.
So, Dani, yeah, no tornadoes, please. So Dani was just informing us that, we're bringing people to jiu-jitsu through our podcast.
Yeah, the listeners don't know, but this is a big up and coming podcast.
The listeners don't know, but it is.
James and I high five each other all the time at the end of the episode, like, yeah, we're the greatest,
Yeah.
But yeah, we had people coming into the gym who had listened to it, hadn't started jiu-jitsu yet, and came to Profectus because of you guys. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah. That motivates us, I think, to keep doing this too, because it is tough to get all the production together. It's really just us two. We don't have an intern or any
yet.
Yet.
Blue belt.
Yeah, that's what we need. If you're a blue belt and know about computers. So I guess we wanted to start with just talking a little bit about your background.
Yeah.
The number one thing I know about you is that you're Canadian.
Yes, I'm a foreigner.
What was that like growing up in Canada?
Cold.
Cold?
So I live, Canada is in general cold, but I live even in the especially cold part. So the city I live in is called Edmonton. It is the most northern city in the world with a population over 1 million. It gets colder than Mars and Siberia multiple times in the year. Minus 40, minus 50 Fahrenheit.
That's pretty cold.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's chilly.
So give me an idea. What does that look like? Because I've seen videos where people take pots of boiling water outside and just throw it in the air and it evaporates. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, easily.
Why would you want that?
I didn't. That's why I'm here.
It's she couldn't help it. She was a child.
That's
just where she came from.
What is the job that's got me attached to that kind of climate? Golly.
Yeah, lots of snowsuits.
So most of the stuff you're doing then is indoors, I'm assuming?
Yeah. Yeah, for the most part, unless you're skiing or snowboarding. But yeah, I was pretty into triathlon, still am, but yeah, all that training was done in my basement for most of the year.
I was gonna say.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Now when
At least
you
got to worry about cutting grass.
It's true. But you have to shovel sno, which is way worse.
No, they make machines for that, right? No.
Yeah. But you got to go out there in the minus 40.
God dang it.
Oh, man.
This is the worst story ever. I'm sorry. I deal with a lot of stuff, but cold like that is just, that's abuse to a child.
Yeah.
Oh,
and you
man.
still got to go to school, right?
Oh, yeah. We don't have snow days.
So that
that's
isn't
not
even a thing.
No. I have this memory of driving to the university, and there's this huge hill. And I see this bus, a city bus, sliding down the hill slowly, while there's a trail of university students trudging with their backpacks up the hill with they have another 3 blocks to go to get to the university.
Oh my God.
They're no, this ain't canceled.
Oh, this is awesome. I'm sorry. You're a tough person though.
So when we get snow days here, I'm like, really? Okay.
It's not just snow days. It might snow days.
Yeah.
I had never heard of
rain days.
inclement weather.
Inclement weather?
I've never heard that term before.
So
the joys of being further south.
Yeah.
So playing sports, you said snowboarding, skiing, is that part of triathlon sports, or is
No,
okay, that's just for fun.
Just Canadian culture.
That's just Canadian
nice.
culture.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was something that was added. I know that you did biking and swimming.
Yeah,
Is it-
swim, bike, run.
Swim, bike, run. Okay. Out of those 3, which do you dread the most?
I dread the run when I'm competing, but I dread swimming when I'm training. Yeah.
Interesting. Why is that? What builds the fear of training swimming?
It's just a lot of work. Like just the process of getting to the pool, getting all your stuff. It's just a big chunk of time, and you're wet. Like, it's not appealing.
Yeah. So it's the setup, pretty much.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Now, what is the name, or like, what are some triathlon tournaments? Is that the right term, or competitions?
Like races.
Races.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've got Ironman, like that whole.
I've heard of that.
company.
Yeah.
So you've got half Ironmans, full Ironmans, and then you've got more standard stuff below that. But I've kind of done it all. I enjoy half Ironmans, which take like 5 to 6 hours.
Okay. And these annual tournaments?
They're kind of like jiu-jitsu.
Races?
Think of it as like
I keep calling them
IBJJF.
tournaments.
Can't get out
Default to
jiu-jitsu,
tournament.
man. Cannot turn off jiu-jitsu.
No. Think of Ironman as like IBJJF. So like there's going to be tournaments everywhere, and then you've got some like really big ones like Worlds and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So making a name for yourself as a triathlete, is that purely through social media and just within the community of other people who compete?
Somewhat. Like I compete for Team Canada actually within what's called Aquabike, which is you just cut the run out of it.
Oh, okay.
So it's the same distance, like for the swim and the bike, but you just cut the run portion out of it.
Aquabike.
Aquabike.
I like that.
But I competed for Team Canada in triathlon before that, but that was Olympic distance, which is half of a half Ironman, and it's just not fun. Like it's a long distance, but you're sprinting it. So like a 10-kilometer. The run portion at the end is 10 kilometers, which is like 6.2 miles. And on the like amateur level, the women were running this in like 35 minutes, 40.
Jesus Christ.
After swimming and biking.
Wow.
And I'm just not here for that.
Yeah.
That's too fast.
So what is so have you ever placed first in one of these?
Yeah, like at any qualifying races and things like that. But like when I'm going to like a half Ironman, no. Like
There's just like hundreds of people.
I'll place in the top in my age category, but like not overall. Yeah, that's
Wow.
insane.
When did you start doing this kind of competing and activity?
So before that, I did ultramarathons, which are like anything over a marathon distance. And I live like in Canada, I'm in the Rocky Mountains. So it's just all over mountains. Like you'll summit 2 or 3 mountains in a race. So I'd been doing that, and I was training for like 3 or 4 years to solo this race called the Great Canadian Death Race. So 125 kilometers, I think 4 summits, and you have to do it within 24 hours. There's time cutoffs within it, but it's really, really tough. So I'd been training all these years to solo this. And the year I went to solo it, I got like about 80 kilometers through it, and I was not doing good. I had just been chased by a bear.
What?
Yeah, straight up bear.
This is an awesome story. Please continue.
It's like the Hunger Games.
Yeah, right?
My friend, she's a EMT, so she was trying to start like an IV on me in between one of my legs because I was just like not getting hydrated again after this. Mm-hmm. And my veins collapsed like 9 times, and she was like, "It's my advisement that you don't continue."
Oh, wow.
And then I was also getting reports of like I was just gonna have to do 10 kilometers up to a summit of a mountain, and on top there was a blizzard. And they were talking about how they were going to have to start like air evacuating people off. And I was like, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the camp. So I was pretty bummed after that because like you spend years training for something just to have it go like to shit.
Yeah.
It can be pretty defeating. So I signed up for just a local triathlon. And I ended up winning it, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool."
Okay.
This only took me like 3 hours. This is way better.
Yeah.
Well, that was at least something that you could like
Yeah.
reap the benefits of your hard work with, and
Yeah.
Never mind the fact you get chased by a bear. Like, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
That's an automatic tattoo stamp there.
that is pretty wild.
Like, you get 3 teardrops right here. Every time I get chased by a bear, like, yeah.
the badass meter goes up too.
Right.
You know, it's like not just a triathlete, but also a bear combat
runner.
specialist.
I
You
fought
know?
Yogi out in the wilderness trying to run a little bit for a nice little workout.
See, if you could have seen the moment, it would take away the badass meter on it because I was just crying and running.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I had a pacer with me, so somebody who like starts fresh, like partway through the race, and he's running with me, and I'm like crying, and I'm like, "You're gonna leave me?"
Oh, no.
And you're just having to make noise so that they'll go away. So we're just like hitting sticks, running, and I'm crying. It was an experience.
I do not know who said that that's the answer for getting rid of bears.
Smack the
Make
sticks
yourself
together.
big and make loud noises like
Yeah.
this. Like
Turn into a
I don't
bear, basically.
think that really works. I'm gonna be honest with you. If a grizzly bear
No.
saw me doing this, that's probably not going to be scary at all.
No.
So, like, as a triathlete, you know, you're making waves doing that. When did the social media thing come about? Was it just good timing, or was
A little
it
bit
like
after the bear, right?
A little
Yeah.
after the bear, you know.
Yeah.
No, bear followed me,
Yeah.
literally and figuratively.
Yeah. Hey, I remember her.
No, so my best friend who actually lives here in Nashville, she does social media as her full-time job. She's actually in like the hunting end of things. And I would come down and visit her, and I would stay for about a month at a time. So I'd be really present on her social media front. And I didn't really do much in the way of Instagram before that. Like I'd be like, this is a building I'm near. That's cool.
here's my dinner?
Yeah, like
These are my freshly done dishes.
my like once a month post.
Yeah.
And so I just started accumulating followers from her followers. And triathlon is very expensive. Like a whole, like a wheel set, like just wheels for your bike are like $3,000 to $5,000.
Oh yeah.
And so as a master's student, I was poor. University was not paying me much money. And yeah, as my following started to grow, I had these companies reaching out and being like, hey, like, do you want this product? And you could post with it. And I'm like, yeah, I want that product.
Yeah.
I would love that set of wheels for my bike that I could not afford. And so, yeah, it ended up kind of becoming a really cool little branch off career that was able to fund my sports while I was going through school.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do know those bikes are very expensive. That's insane. Like I've
$3,000 to
got
$4,000 for just the wheels.
the wheels,
The
man.
wheels.
I mean, a car is just $300 to $400.
I know.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I wonder
mean,
what do you? I mean,
Carbon fiber.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
That military grade carbon fiber.
Like I don't know how you can shove that much technology into a bike where it costs that much. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever
doesn't
stop
have an
biking,
engine.
you can create armor with the tire because it's carbon fiber.
That's true.
And you know, any future bear attacks, you got your suit of armor and you're ready for
Maybe.
combat. You know.
Maybe.
Or the bike is light enough. I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Use it as
It'd
weapon.
probably just be better just use the bike to get away.
Just use the bike to get
Yeah,
away.
Get on it and pedal.
Yeah.
But apparently bears run about 35 to 45
Yeah.
miles an hour, so that's
Yeah.
not going to happen too quickly.
No, I've had to outrun a bison on the bike before.
Man,
Also another
what
experience
in
where I was
the
crying
world?
while biking. Canada's wild, all right?
You
See, I'm
are
going
you
from-
Wolverine? Like, what is happening?
I'm going from looking at you as this athlete, like this like powerful figure, to like just running for your life,
Yeah.
away from like
Always.
multiple animals. You know,
Always.
like-
Like,
Yeah.
are you Liam Neeson? Like, Jesus Christ.
Just every Canadian listening to this is like, yeah, it happened to me.
Yeah, that's Tuesday. Jesus Christ.
super common then, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, so there are common animals you see. So we see
Yeah.
deer all the time. So I can't believe bear and bison are like the equivalent of seeing deer here, right?
It depends on where you're at, but yeah, certain areas. Yeah, there's a park that I would bike in, a national park, and it had tons of bison or buffalo, whatever.
That
you
is
wanna call 'em.
insane. I have a friend in Australia, and he says the way you see deer here is the way you see kangaroo there.
Oh wow.
And he said I was late to work one day because two kangaroo were in the middle of the street fighting in front of his driveway. He couldn't get them to move.
Is it just kangaroo, not kangaroos?
Kangaroo. No.
Kangaroo.
It could be.
Kangaroo.
Kangaroos.
Now, Dana, you also, I don't know if you've already pursued this and have graduated, but pursuing degrees in psychology and conflict management.
Yeah, so I already have my master's in psychology, and then now I'm doing my master's in conflict management.
Okay. Where's the motivation behind pursuing those degrees?
So the psychology degree was, it's within research, so it's very like neuroscience based. I kind of got an offer from one of my supervisors, and I was like, yeah, sure, that sounds cool. Let's do it. And then with this degree, it is so I can stay in this country legally. But also, it's a really cool degree, so it's kind of a win-win. But
conflict management, I mean, that's important for leadership too.
Yeah, especially if you're fighting animals in the wild.
Yeah, you know.
Sit down, have a discussion with the bear.
Yeah.
Why are you chasing me?
So why do you feel like you need to ram me with your horns, Mr. Bison? That's interesting. So what school are you going to for that?
I'm at Lipscomb.
Lipscomb, okay.
Yeah.
Good. You enjoying it?
Yeah, it's really cool. And the professors that we've had are like, they ship them in from other places. Like, very, very cool people that they're bringing in. Yeah.
We've had some jiu-jitsu tournaments at Lipscomb University.
Yeah, we did.
Yep. All right, we're going to take a little segue here and watch a video from James.
Yeah, embarrass me. Did he tell you he was going to do this?
No.
This is his second round. He won his first match. This is the battle for the blue. This is like the second ever battle for the blue belt match. And I picked this match for a number of reasons. We're going to see why. It's going to be good.
Can I just preface
you have to call him out here.
I was a white belt. And I had been training for exactly 2 months. This was my second time in my life ever doing any kind of tournament type event, period. So I was nervous.
Yeah, he had very little training. And he actually ended up winning.
Okay.
Which was cool, but he couldn't get his blue belt because he was only 2 months into training. So he got 2 stripes. Yeah. And, well, we'll just let you see the rest here. So.
Just so you know, Jeremy and Fayez are both coaching against me, which just makes my nerves even more shot.
Who are you going against here?
I don't remember his name, but
he may not.
Speaking of, that's Fayez and Jeremy up front.
Yeah.
And my wife is my cheerleader, so she's going to be doing a lot.
Oh yeah, right behind Jeremy.
Yeah.
Jeremy Fayez. So doing good, getting grips.
You're breaking grips. That's good.
Oh yeah. Also, this is not my gi that I'm wearing, so I'm just even more to throw me off my game.
You're in another man's gi.
Yeah.
You were just wearing some random gi?
Yeah, no, it's one that Mike brought me because I had to wear white.
Oh, you didn't have a white gi?
Nope.
Oh.
And
I love the rigid arms on both sides of this.
Yeah. Very tense right now.
That guy was probably like 220, 230. And probably deadlifts about 500 pounds.
There you go. It's finishes. Nice.
Yep.
It's the hair that makes you look bigger, though, man. You still look like the bigger guy.
It probably is.
And the closed guard.
Just awful. Like, I have no idea what that leg is doing. Like, I know I need my posture, but this is so bad.
Closed guard as a white belt is horrible because you're just like, I don't want to be here, but also I don't want to get out of this.
Yes.
Now look at Randall's face. He's like, okay. There's James. They're laughing.
I blew a kiss at him, and I winked.
Wait a minute. Why did you do that?
I don't know, Jeff.
Hey.
I was nervous.
Why'd you do that?
I had to, because we didn't drill how to get somebody off of you in this position, Jeff. So
That's not the way.
I figured maybe if I poked him, he'd let go. It didn't work.
There you go.
It's a good staple, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's the start of the right thing.
Yeah, it's the start of jiu-jitsu.
Good old white belt James.
Oh, my God.
I miss white belt James.
Yeah, I don't. White belt James was a psychopath.
Is that Jeremy yelling?
That's Fayez, and that's a lot of instructions right now. No, that's Anthony.
Yeah, that's Anthony.
Yeah.
I don't hear me at all. Apparently, I was just watching you.
I have no idea what he's doing to my leg. I just know that it feels like it's.
This is a weird position, yeah.
Your wife's cheering you on, not knowing at all what's happening.
Oh,
probably.
yeah, no. Just whatever he's doing, do the opposite, James. Get that grip off.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Don't lose. This dude's like 25. I'm 37. Like, you see, he's built like the Hulk over here. Don't touch me.
Take some deep breaths. Take some deep breaths.
Whatever. I need to catch my breath. This stupid guard break Jeff showed me never works.
Now, this seems slow paced to somebody who's like your average, spectator.
Oh, yeah.
But this is actually really, like, if you're in it, it is intense.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot going on here. Like,
Almost got swept.
Constant pushing and pulling.
Driving that knee slice. Guy's got his knee shield in.
Today, I would flatten that leg out. I'd flatten that leg out and go around to his back.
Recovered. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, buddy.
Yep. White belt James did not have the stamina.
That guy's trying to look deep into your eyes right now, too.
Danny, I wish we had a video of you doing something like this just so we could laugh at you.
Honestly, it exists on Flow Grappling.
Oh, I got to find it.
My very first pans.
Oh, yeah?
As
It's
a white
short
belt?
video.
It's a short
All
video.
right, we're going to find it.
We've all been
I'll
there.
just get Jeff to add that in and give him some extra work.
Yeah.
When people at the gym are nervous about competing, I show them the video of my first pans.
That's good.
I'm like, just don't pull a guard with 0 grips or anything on their body. Just sit down, see what happens.
Yeah,
You got it, buddy.
Yeah, I got something.
So we got about a minute,
Yeah,
minute and
look
a
at
half
those ankles.
left.
I'm going to be honest. I'm pretty sure he was nervous as well, or much worse, because he's got this look in his eye like.
I think he's just shy of negotiating with you.
That's what it feels like.
His
Yeah,
guard's
right.
open. You're grabbing his wrist.
Yeah, I don't know why, Jeff.
There you go. Nice.
That's a pass.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Settle that big
Whoa.
boy down. Look at that look on his face.
I know, he was
That
trying
look
hard
on
to
his
get
face
out.
says, this is it. And then he
Like a
goes
lead
to the
blanket.
bench press. He's such a
He
strong
He
is
turns.
athletic.
Look at you transition though, man. Like that's special. For you as a white belt to naturally move that way. Ooh.
Hey, I was working the choke too. Ran out of juice at the last minute.
But that was it, man. That was because you scored the takedowns too.
Yep.
Yeah.
You passed the guard, that's 3.
Yep.
And then you
And
took the
took the
back,
back.
but time ran out right at the
I
end.
was going to say,
I got those
did the
back
points
Did they give you the
count?
I
points?
got back points.
Nice.
Because
Look at Randall. Randall's like, whoo.
and the crazy part, after every single one of these matches was over, I thought I lost every single one of them. Like, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, all right, he's about to raise this other guy's hand, and I get to go sit down and maybe have some water or
You do
one
look-
of those hot dogs. And then
Your
he says, I
face.
won. And I'm like, holy shit, I got to go again?
Isn't
God damn it.
Isn't that the worst when you win and you're like,
Yeah.
I wish I,
I got to
hadn't.
go again? Oh, man.
Yeah, I've
It's
been
not
there.
going to get easier.
No.
Now we're gonna.
Yeah, so you can
Segue.
judge me now if you would like.
That was
gonna
pretty
segue
good for a
again.
white belt tournament.
Yeah, I thought
You
so.
did good. You did
Oh,
the things.
Thanks. I did the things.
You did the things.
Yeah. I tried to take his
And
back.
you almost did the things a lot too.
Yeah. And
good.
almost made the things actually work.
Yeah.
So,
That's pretty solid.
Let's see. So, Danny, we were trying to think of something fun and funny to do with you.
Yeah.
Because we're always trying to do different games with our guests. We're trying to improve in that. So, what we decided to do was play a game
All right.
called Canadian or
Not Canadian.
booty.
I like it.
Okay, we're gonna pull
I'm
up
excited.
random pictures of people, and you just have to guess
If they're Canadian or not Canadian.
Canadian or not.
Yeah.
Are
Canadian.
these famous people?
Some of them. Yeah,
Okay.
everybody should be.
Everyone is famous to
Everybody should
somebody.
be
Okay.
recognizable. Everybody's recognizable. All right, so let's start with our first image here. We're gonna go with.
I can already tell you it's
Little
Canadian.
softball.
Uh oh.
Jeff doesn't know how to use computers.
I know what to do.
All right,
Just gotta hit the thing.
Oh no. There we go.
Oh, I think you did it wrong.
Hey,
Canadian.
Mr. Drake, Canadian.
Star of Degrassi, yes.
Degrassi.
Which is a Canadian TV show.
Oh,
You know what? A lot of shows are made in Canada.
Yep.
I'm learning that more and more as I watch my favorite shows and they get to the end credits.
Well,
Yeah.
you are correct for your number one here. That is,
Yeah.
we'll go ahead and put one on the board there. Drake is Canadian. Yes, it's her. It's we're
It's
gonna
me
see it.
against me.
Yeah, it's her against her. All right, here comes time. And you can take your time. Think about it.
Not Canadian.
So confident. I knew I didn't make these hard enough. Correct. Not Canadian. Tom Hanks is, well, he's not Canadian. All right, so we're going to go, he is something.
Not Canadian, I hope.
Jake Paul is not Canadian.
Oh, thank God. Okay, good.
I was hoping so bad he was.
3 for 3.
We already have Justin Bieber. Canadian.
That
We've got
is
like
correct.
12 famous Canadians. Of course I'm
That
gonna
is
know
correct.
them.
I shouldn't have used
Most Canadians are pretty happy people. That I know.
when you Google famous Canadians, I probably shouldn't have used the first line of
Yeah,
celebrities.
you got to go down a row. At least
right.
2 rows.
She's got 4 in a row. They're going to get tougher, though. These are easy.
All right.
Okay, hopefully. It's a tricky one.
What is that?
Who is that?
Jabba the Hutt.
That's Winston Churchill.
That's not Canadian.
He's not Canadian. I just thought that would be funny to put him in there.
That's an awful picture
That's
of a person.
Turtle Man.
He is the Prime Minister of the UK during the 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
Keanu.
Right.
I'm going to say Canadian.
I feel like he
I've
is.
got like an 80% confidence here.
What do you think, James?
I feel like he is. I feel like I've heard that.
He looks pretty Canadian
He
to
looks
me.
Canadian. He looks French.
Canadian.
And he is.
Do you speak French, by the way?
No, I can read it decently well, but I can't speak it.
Really?
I don't even know who this is.
What is that?
That's me. Playing a melodica.
A what?
Exactly. What's a melodica?
I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this one.
I'm just going to get rid of this one.
That's just me playing a melodica,
Is this something you can actually play?
No.
Okay.
No, I just was asked to take a picture. It's just a good picture.
It's a good picture. I've got to find that later so I could use it for some incriminating reasons.
Jeremy loves that picture. He had me text it to him. He was like, text me that. I was like,
You're
okay.
like, why do you need that?
Yeah, I was like, all right.
That's even more alarming.
Whoopi, I actually don't know. She could be a secret Canadian, but
Whoopi Goldberg.
I'm gonna.
What's a
I'm gonna have
secret
to
Canadian?
say no. Somebody, and it's a Canadian that's just been in the States for so long that.
Oh, they hide
like
it?
like Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's been in the States for so long.
Right.
that-
He's
But he's Canadian.
Yeah.
I purposefully didn't pick him. I
And
was
same
like,
with Mike Myers.
Yep, Mike
Yeah.
Myers.
Oh, yeah, I
Yep.
knew about him.
Whoopi Goldberg is not Canadian,
Okay,
so you are
okay.
correct. Very good. We're almost through it here. Let's see.
Inspector Gadget.
Inspector Gadget.
He's shocked, so I'm gonna say Canadian. I'm gonna say it's a Canadian TV show.
You are correct. Started and originated in Canada. Inspector
Happy.
Gadget.
I'm noticing a trend here with this part of the face is kind of what's giving it away.
Oh, is that like is that Cheech from Cheech and Chong?
That's Tommy Chong.
Tommy Chong.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Canadian.
Yep. Very.
I know that one.
Surprisingly hard to find like a good young picture of him.
I don't think he was ever young.
Yeah, he did. He's always had a beard.
Came out
and-
with a beard.
He was a baby and then he was 50.
You definitely know your Canadians. I give you that.
I know my Canadians. That's awful.
What?
That is awful.
Why is that awful?
It's like I know my black people.
That's not. No, it's not. Canada's like a state, It's like you're Virginian.
It's like a state. Canada's like a state
A really big state.
with territories and everything.
Yeah.
13 of them, right?
So let's talk about your cross.
Territories? Like, well, we got provinces and territories.
Provinces
yeah.
and territories.
Yeah.
I did want to get into like why jiu-jitsu? Why did you cross over to the world of BJJ.
Yeah. So with triathlon and being in the winter, I'd been training in my basement like a lot by myself. So like being on your bike for 3 hours at a time, all alone in your basement, and then you go and you work in a lab all by yourself. You get really lonely, and so I was like, it'd be great a sport where people hug me.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is pretty
hilarious.
accurate.
No, I had a couple friends that were doing it, and they told me that I'd be good at it because I used to ride horses competitively all before all of that other stuff. And so I gave it a shot, and I was like, close guard, that's cool. I'll just do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of how I jumped into it.
And what was the first, where did you start training?
So I was in Canada at an Eduardo Tellis gym, so it's a 9-9 affiliation, but it was all Nogi. Like they did the gi, but not really. Like once a week.
Wow.
So it was like a submission only, leg locking, no-gi gym. I literally learned how to heel hook before I learned how to do an armbar. I'm not joking. Yeah.
Oh, you could learn technical stand-up, bridges,
Yeah, but let's
shrimp.
be honest.
Yeah.
Break the heel.
Yeah.
Twist that knee.
Reap the knee.
Yeah.
I'm like, it explodes how many of the tendons? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Now, did you know that you wanted to try competing in jiu-jitsu, or were you just kind of not sure at first, or you knew right away?
No, I wanted it to just kind of be like a side hobby for the first year or so, but like not because of leg locks, but I ended up blowing out both of my knees at different times.
Doing
jiu-jitsu.
Oh wow.
One was I tore my LCL because I went to lock in a triangle and I just like grabbed it and it sounded like fabric ripping. It was like so that took a month. And then another one was my meniscus in my other knee from somebody grapevining and just extending really hard.
I've had 2 meniscus surgeries,
Yeah.
and you did you get it just removed right away, or did you have to? Do you try to get it repaired?
They told me to leave it for like a month to see how it was because I could still extend. It would just click and like
Lock.
it was catching.
Yeah. Ugh.
And so inflammation came down and it like would click when I walked for like a year and it's fine. But they were basically like try and avoid surgery as best you can. Eventually, you probably will have to get this out. And
You never had surgery for it?
no, not yet.
I'm just going to give a piece of advice to everybody who's ever had a meniscus surgery and you go in, you see the doctor. Avoid getting a repair. If you have to do surgery, just get the thing removed. I think Reese went through the same thing with his knee. And it's just something like if you're not aware of or you don't know, I mean, you just roll the dice sometimes. But in this sport, I would say, you're better off just removing it completely. So just a little tidbit for your meniscus.
Especially if you're not a teenager. Like if you're really young, that might go well.
Yeah.
But like if you're over 20 and you're in the sport, just get it out.
Yeah, and it takes such a long time when you repair it. Like, to recover, I think the recovery time's like months as
5 or 6 months.
Yeah, versus weeks, Okay, so.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah.
Now that you've been training in the gi for a while, do you prefer the gi or do you prefer no gi?
I sit on such an edge now, but I like hated the gi when I started at Profectus because obviously like they do a lot more gi than no gi, and I was like, I hate this. I hate it so much because half of my game was just like being slippery.
Yeah.
And I would just like go underneath people and like just squirm my way out of spots, and in the gi you're just stuck and you're like and I was just like, this sucks. I hate this. This is awful. My entire game is like done. I can't heel hook. I can't do anything I want.
Yeah.
But now that I have some like, fundamentals, which is cool, I actually sit pretty 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah.
They both serve like good and bad,
Yeah.
I think it's good either way.
Oh, it's good and good.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
my mistake.
This is the way I see it.
Yeah.
I like jiu-jitsu.
I look at James for approval when I say things, and he just kind of he lets me know.
Yeah. If I have to play within the IBJJF rule set, I think I prefer the gi.
Okay.
But if I get like kind of more open rules in the no-gi, I prefer no-gi.
And how did you because there's a lot of jiu-jitsu in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
How did you land on Profectus?
Actually, I had a buddy of mine You maybe have seen him at some point in like the jiu-jitsu world. His name is Pete McGregor. He's actually paralyzed from the waist down and does jiu-jitsu. He's a 10th Planet guy. He works with Boogie in San Diego.
Okay.
And so he does like a lot of jiu-jitsu around the world. Like just travels everywhere. So he's kind of my go-to guy when I'm traveling. I'll be like, hey Pete, where should I go? And he hadn't actually been to Profectus, but had like somebody else he had talked to who was like, yeah, this is the place you want to go. And so I went and liked it. I had visited prior and I'd gone to Artista and it was okay. It wasn't really my style, but Profectus, like instantly, it was just awesome. Like the culture was really great. People are joking around. It wasn't so like stuffy and stuck up and stuff. It reminded me a lot of my gym at home, so I was all on board.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were talking about that the other day. That's kind of what helps breed a good gym when you got a culture where people come into a room and you don't feel like I'm about to apply for a job or something like that. I feel like I'm just hanging out with friends that just happen to try to kill me.
Yeah, yeah. And it sounds bad, but like if you go and you drop in at a gym and like the first thing they do is charge you a drop-in fee.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a really big famous gym. So I like went to the 10th Planet in London. I was like, yeah, obviously you're going to charge a drop-in fee because you see people come in all the time. But yeah, if you're like going to a local gym and they're charging you a drop-in fee, I'm like, no.
Yeah. Guess I'll stop charging drop-in fees.
He doesn't do that. He's just a really nice guy.
And then you met Fayez.
Yep.
Yeah. Tall, dark, and handsome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny. People are like, how did you end up here? And I'm like, this idiot, and point to him.
Oh. No, I think it's great. And the one thing I wanted to point out is like how great it's been having a woman who's taken charge in being an ambassador for women on our team.
Yeah.
Because it's been great to have Julie go back and train with you guys, because that's the one thing we lacked for a long time here at our location. It's like Julie just has a bunch of dudes to roll with. And but since you've started that, it's like all of a sudden women are just coming out of the woodwork at all the locations, you know? So it's, you know, we're grateful to have you on board.
It started very selfishly of just me wanting to have more female training partners.
Yeah, I mean, that's good,
the way
though.
It happens, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if I want more training partners, where else do I go? Well, let me try to take some of these people from over here and bring them over here. That way I got the best of both worlds.
And how are you going to have a clear understanding of where you stand, you know, if you don't have equal opponents or, you know.
That's huge as a female in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You'll be rolling with a guy and you'll have some form of technique that you've drilled before and it won't work. And you have to sit there and you have to be like, okay, is this not working because they're bigger and stronger than me, or is this not working because my technique sucks? And the only way you really find that out is by rolling with other women. Yeah. Because if it works on like a woman that's about your size and your rank, you're like, oh, okay, my stuff's legit. But when it doesn't work, it first of all destroys your soul, and then you're like, oh, okay, it wasn't just because they were big and strong.
Yeah, because you're either thinking, exactly, no. Well, like for white belt women that are coming into the sport, what kind of advice like would you give? Like, because when you were starting, you did this Nogi gym. Yeah. Was there a lot of women that trained there, or were you like?
There's one.
There's one.
Yeah. So there's
one other, or just you?
One other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I had she's this purple belt. She's brown belt now. But she was awesome. She was just pumped that she had another female coming in, and she was like, "You're not gonna leave, are you?" Like, so she
guilt trip you.
Oh yeah. She was really tentative to work with me for the first like 3 months. She was like, yeah, we'll see. And I stuck around, and then she was like, all right, I'll teach you some stuff.
Cool.
But yeah, your question was advice for white belt women coming into the sport. Honestly, just learn your fundamentals, learn your escapes, learn your defense. You're going to need that way more than most people are. Like the only other group that's going to need it as well is like smaller men. But yeah, like if you can be real, like make your guard just impossible to pass. Because one, that's where you're safe, and two, like that's the basis you need to start out with, is just be unkillable. From there, once you have that ability to not have somebody pass your guard, once you start kind of installing in these guards with attacks and things like that, it's way easier. Whereas if you're trying to hit like these attacks right away, it's not going to go well. You're not going to have fun.
Yeah, you have to get to a place of control first, right? And that's good advice for any white belt, not just white belt women. So when's the next tournament coming up?
This coming weekend, actually.
Are you going to do it?
Yeah, Indianapolis. They were closed for the key, so I signed up for Nogi because it's going to be Fiz's first black belt tournament, which is really exciting.
Ooh, nice.
So I had signed up for the Nogi, and then IBJJF emailed me, and they're like, "Do you want to do the gi?" And I was like, "All right."
If you're making me.
But so I'll be fighting this weekend, gi and Nogi. I'm fighting up in weight too in the gi, so a little scared.
Okay.
Big girls.
Yeah, but
so where are you normally at? What's your division?
Normally in the gi, I'm medium heavy.
Okay.
So the cutoff for that is 163. So I walk around like 161, 162-ish. So I just kind of have to cut down to like 159. I basically cut my gi weight, the weight of the physical gi.
5 pounds.
Yeah, like I just have to not eat ice cream for 3 days and I'm set.
Yeah,
it's an easy cut.
That. That's about where I am. I usually walk around right around 220. So whenever I want to do a tournament, I got to get down just enough of my gi.
Yeah, which is not hard. Like
no, just eat chicken for a couple days.
Yeah.
Chicken and rice, and I'm fine.
Take a big poop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll 1 hour with Jeff.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jeff rolling, I don't know if you can tell, but he blacked my eye yesterday.
That one?
Yeah.
I don't think people can tell, James. What? I'm just pointing out an observation. I don't think people can tell.
So
I'm just going to sit quietly.
I tried to do a drop Cianagi. Jeff didn't like it. He went to the mat and just went ballistic, started rolling all over the ground. Next thing I know, his fist comes and punches me in the face, and he still proceeds to continue to try to pass my guard. I was like, this is crazy.
Isn't that the most offensive thing is when they hit you and then they keep going? I'm like, excuse me.
Jeff, you make contact with my face with your fist.
Here's the thing. Anytime I've ever accidentally hit somebody, I always stop and say sorry, and they always go, "No, I'm fine, keep going." Every time that's the response I get, so I just stopped doing it.
He said it wasn't an accident.
I stopped doing it.
I accidentally hit somebody, they say it's okay, but this time it was on purpose.
No, I just didn't slow down to check and see if your feelings were hurt.
Oh yeah, no,
that's all that was.
He was trying to murder me. So note to self: don't pass. Don't try to take Jeff down. Just pull guard.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he normally tries to do, and it caught me off guard because he did this like Cianagi like arm throw, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get his back." I was like, "Oh no, I'm not." He got it. He's got it locked in. As soon as I hit the mat, I knew I didn't want you to settle, so I started posting and getting up. You started trying to get my arm. I did this.
Punch.
Yep. That probably could have been it, man.
That's exactly what it happened. Probably.
Like, let me get my ass up.
All I know is I saw Bullwinkle and Rocky over my head.
Anytime somebody tries to throw me, like nothing will make me more mad than that. Like, so that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Like some of the stand-up game stuff that's more violent. Like if it's judo, I'm like, excuse me, how dare you? We had this white belt male come in and he tried to do that to me, and I was like, I'm gonna triangle the shit out of you. I'm like, no, sir, no.
Did you just try to Uchimati me?
Uchimati?
Kill you.
Do you have any takedowns in your arsenal outside of pulling guard?
A lot of sit-up, like wrestling.
Okay.
So I'll do a lot of stuff from like De La Riva or from like shin to shin. I've been playing a lot of Michelle Nicolini's guard, which is like usually double sleeve or a collar sleeve with like a shin hook on that front one.
I've been studying some of her stuff, and I was showing James some things of hers the other night.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It links really nicely together.
She's got some legit celery. Pass the sleeve through and scoot back.
On the knee cup?
Yep.
Yeah. I've
Good
been doing
stuff.
That. It is good.
It's funny how like things trend in the jiu-jitsu community when it comes to techniques. It's like you'll see something, and then you'll see like 10 schools doing a video of the same thing. And Danaher was on recently talking about, and I may have talked about this on the episode, but he was on God, I can't remember who this guy's, what his podcast was, but Donner was saying, you know, being able to like revisit something that's being underutilized in the sport is like key to like being successful, and that's what happened with the leg lock game.
Mm-hmm.
Leg locks have always been around, but people weren't really utilizing it in the gi or the no-gi game. So he was like, well, maybe there's a opportunity here, you know?
Yeah. People start looking at whatever the new meta is, and
whatever
gets left behind becomes more prevalent just because everybody's studying this now.
Yeah. No, for sure. It all comes around. It's like fashion.
Yeah.
It is.
Exactly the same way. It's freaking fun, though, man.
So did you get a black competition gi?
No, not yet.
No, not yet?
No, not yet. I've got this like really thick gi that I'm gonna wear because I can never wear it because I'm always like making weight. This sucker's like 7 pounds.
Oh my God.
I'm like, good luck grabbing this.
Yeah, make sure you wash it with no fabric softener either, just so it just
crinkles.
sandpaper on the fingers.
Spray it with starch.
Yeah, there you go. Some Stay Flow.
Yeah.
Stands up on its own.
It is brutal though. It's like thick. It's like the half judo gis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's rude.
Oh God.
I've just always wanted to wear it in competition. I finally get to.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Danny, is there any pages you want people to follow, or any like parting words, things you want to throw out there for the public? Because, you know, we have millions of followers, and I'm sure they love to know where to follow you and all that jazz.
I guess first and foremost, go follow the different Profectus pages to get updates on like when training and stuff is happening. So if you follow Profectus Wilco, then you can kind of chain your way through all the other branches. But the Profectus Brentwood page is where I'll post about all the women's classes and things like that, because they're really sporadic right now.
Yeah.
But then my personal one is Dani Olafson. I honestly hate when people follow me that I know. I'm like, look away. It's just another picture of me.
No, you do good. You've got good creative ones. I've seen, you know, you're like, hey, I'm outside, or hey, I'm doing my swimming thing.
Now
Like, you
I'm
mix it up.
Now I'm inside swimming.
Now I'm inside. That's the thing. Like, you have to. It's tough. You got to be creative every day. Like, what's it going to be today? We know what we didn't talk about? Queen of Dad jokes.
That's
Didn't you
right.
have one? Jarrell had one.
Yeah, my son. He wanted me to tell you his dad joke.
I'm excited.
What do you call an American bee?
I don't know what.
A USB.
That's pretty solid. I like that. I haven't heard that.
I was going to say, I was like, you know.
He comes to class and he'll sit on this mat and he will just entertain Jeff with 75 different dad jokes.
Different dad jokes?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I've read a lot of dad jokes. So I'm surprised I haven't heard that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm sure there's thousands of more, but
Yeah.
sometimes they're just depressing. I tell them, Drill, stop. Don't do this. Don't keep telling these jokes to Jeff.
Let's see. All right, guys. Thanks for watching another episode of Jiu-Jitsu by the Train Tracks. Thank you, Danny, for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. You can hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, do all the things, follow all the pages. You know the deal. And we'll see you next time. I know Fia's behind me right now?
Fias is right behind you.
Oh, shit.
He's giving that look, too. Yes.
We're going to go.